Hello and welcome to Cartola FC English. My name is Sean and I'm going to teach you how to play Cartola FC, which is the official fantasy game for the Brazilian Serie A league. If you don't know Portuguese, that's okay. I don't either. Um, a lot of resources for this game are in Portuguese. That's okay. I'm going to be your English resource. It's if you have played Fantasy Premier League, it's similarly set up, but also very different. So same but different. So we're gonna get into that. Let's get into the Brazilian league itself. So there are 20 teams. It's a 38 game season. Each team plays each other home and away, like the Premier League. It starts in April 15th, goes to the beginning of December, and the bottom four teams are relegated. Palmeiras is the most successful team, and they are the defending champions, but a lot of players that, as Brazilian players that have come out from other teams. So it's a very fun league to get into, and fantasy is a good way to get into a league. So let's get into the format. You start with $100 budget. The budget does come into play, and we'll get into that a bit later. 38 game weeks, no team transfer limits each week, so you can choose a different team each week. If you want to stack, a certain team, you're allowed to. And in FPL, you can only have 3 per team. In Cartola, you can have as many as you like. So that does come with a risk as well. Players score points based off stats. We'll get into the stats or the point scoring system. It is a little more complex than FPL. You can gain and lose team value similar to FPL, but more so in this game. It's more volatile, especially in the first 3 weeks. Game week deadline is 1 minute before the first game, so that does give you an advantage if you are paying attention to the lineups before the game starts. So that does come into play. Let's get into the game itself. So when you first sign up and register your team, it's going to be on this website, which I've linked below. It kind of has an orange theme to it. It is in Portuguese, but it's easy enough to navigate if you don't speak Portuguese. So it's got an orange theme. It's going to give you, once you register, it's going to make you create your badge, create your team name, uniform, and so and so. It's going to give you an option if you want the free version or pro. Now the pro does have additional benefits, but they don't really give you a serious advantage. So it's okay just playing the free version, which I am doing myself. The pro version does give you a few more stats tables and lets you play into more leagues. So that is the pro version. So once you create your team name and all that, create your badge, it's going to send you to the team selection page, which will be blank. You'll just have a bunch of plus signs, and that's where you fill out your team. So you will have $100 to start with to complete your team, and you can choose your formation here. I've chosen the 4-3-3. So if you want to fill out your team, you can by clicking each position, or if you scroll down to the Mercado, it's going to give you all these players. In this game, the positions are attackers, midfielders, center defenders, fullbacks. Those are 2 separate. Goalkeeper, and it also has a technico, a manager position. So you have $100 to play with. Now, let's take a look on how to select players. You also have a bench, but that doesn't take up your budget. So let's see. So if you want to filter players, you can here in the Mercado, the market. This is going to be in Portuguese, but it's easy enough. It's easy enough. This is position, goalie, center back, fullback, midfielder, attacker, manager. You can filter by position. You can filter by status, probable, injured, suspended, blah, blah, blah. Here are the prices. You can filter by price if you want to look for budget players, expensive players, and so on. And you can filter by team. So that's an easy way to search for players. It's a nice little UI interface. Okay, so I need to fill out one more forward for my team. I'm going to click on that and scroll down to kind of a medium priced asset. Let's go for Lucero from Fortaleza. So if I just want to buy him here, you have unlimited transfers before the deadline. So once you do that, make sure you confirm your team or else you will lose progress, view my team, and so on. So that's the team screen. It's pretty simple. Here it shows you what you've spent, what you have in the bank, and so on. One of the most important parts, especially at the beginning of the season, is your team valuation, your team budget. So every team starts with 100. Uh, in FBL, you would want to max out your budget, get all the premium guys, Holland, Salah, Kane, those guys. In this game, it's very different. And we'll talk about that in valuation. Okay, so valuation is one of the most important parts, especially at the beginning of the season, and it's also the most confusing part of the game. So it's algorithm based price changes. Each player has a point target around half their price, maybe a little over half, like points, 60% of their price. Very important in the first 3 weeks. It's the most volatile in the first 3 weeks. Uh, you can gain a lot of money. You can also lose a lot of money. So the point here, I guess the first tip is to avoid highly priced players. Go for under $10, budget players, because those point targets will be much lower and much easier to achieve than some of the higher price guys. Suarez is $23. His price target's going to be around 15, and that's going to take a lot to get. Here I've highlighted Pedro from Flamengo. He is my captain. As it stands now, it's just a tentative team, but his price to begin the season is $19, which means his target is around 11 points. Now that's a lot of points, so that does come with a risk. Let's go back to the team selection to check out other prices. Okay, so here you have my tentative team. It's, as you can see, I have $20 in the bank. So I've gone for the budget players, which is what you want to do to avoid the huge risk of losing a lot of money to start out the season. So points is the overall goal, but there are 38 game weeks, and you can gain team value in the first couple of weeks, which will set you up kind of for good for the whole season. So you can see here, my team is full of budget players. Besides Pedro, my captain, captain multiplies their points by 1.5. So it's not quite double the points like FPL, but it does give you a little bit of a boost. There is no vice captain, so make sure your captain is going to play. So let's take a look. Roca is one of the most popular picks of the game. He's only $5 for a defending fullback on the best team in the defending champion. That's going to be an easy point target to get. So you kind of want to load your team with these guys. And you can change your team each week. So this isn't like FPL where you're stuck with the team and might have to early wild card out of it. You want to start with the budget picks and then go on from there. It's a long season. Okay, let's talk about points and how the system works. So this is in Portuguese. Bear with me. Here are the attacking points, how you get those, and defending points. Let's try and see what we can do here. So attackers, it's you get points for more things compared to FPL. So shots is a big one. If you draw a foul, you get points. Draw a penalty, you get a point. For defenders, if you commit a foul, it's minus 0.3. If you get red card, that's minus 3. Own goal, minus 3. You do get points for interceptions and tackles, which is different from FPL. And the clean sheet is 5 points. Attacking wise, if you have a player that shoots a lot, that's good. If you hit the post, I believe there's 3 points. Drawing a foul, that's points. So yeah, there are a lot more ways. There are a lot more ways to get points in this game. And then the manager, if their team wins, they get a point. And also, the manager's points is the average of the whole team. So it's whatever their team's players get. That 11, the sum of however many points they get, divided by 11, the average, that's what the manager gets. So it is a bit different than FPL. Game week 1 is about to start. It starts mid-April. I believe 1 week from when this video comes out, April 15th. And like I said before, the deadline is 1 minute before the first kickoff. So you'll be able to see these lineups from these first 2 matches. Palmeiras in particular will be very important to see. Potentially, if you can get some budget guys, Artur is one. Those will be really good picks if you can have access to those lineups. And update your team before the deadline. So that's basically how to play. I will have a video detailing my picks for game week 1 coming up. And best of luck to you. I hope you join. I hope you play. And I'll see you next week.